colleagues, professors, doctors, misters, and then the developed panel. My name is Kate, and I'll be presenting to you a topic named Developing an Effective Quality Framework of Products Alongside Supply within the rail industry. So this is actually my presentation outline. And then my study will be based on the company that represents the rail network in South Africa. And the company was awarded a contract to build trains over a certain period of years. And in this study, I will be referring the company as Company X for confidential reasons. And then this company X has been training thousands of historically disadvantaged South Africans, mainly being women, and then as well as empowering the local suppliers in terms of localizing where the required parts to make train sets, which are called the purchase parts, were coming directly from the local suppliers, thus also empowering the economy in South Africa. So this is a continuation to my introduction, whereby I did explain that he's localizing Company X. So this is just a process flow that shows how they come. As you see the truck above, parts delivered to Company X for quality inspection. And the parts are subjected to quality inspection with the standards required for that product. They get segregated if any rework, or they flow down to inventory, which is your warehouse, where parts will be utilized to produce trains. However, if there is a rework, or in terms of there is a reject, there's no movements of parts, therefore there is the productivity of Company X will thus be affected because of poor product quality from suppliers. So this is just 8 steps to manage product quality from SAI that was referenced from SAI 2013. This is basically highlights how we should follow in terms of your product quality. This is derived from your QMS. As you can see, the top step was to top management commitment, learn about TQM, decide the quality vision, establish a quality management team, establish quality policies and procedures, set objectives, focus on priority, project, and action plans. So we can go through the next one. So in terms of the problem statement, here we looked at the suppliers in terms of quality degradation, as you can see, from 2020 fiscal year till now. We've seen quality degradation with supplier. So regardless of the efforts that Company X has put to its local supplier, Company X is still undergoing challenges that are faced in terms of poor quality products that is actually affecting their on-time delivery to its customer, and then productivity as well. Okay. So as you saw the previous graphs on my problem statement, it was showing fluctuations, so there was no really stability in terms of quality within Company X's supply. So this is a problem statement relating to CONC. The non-conformity has financial impact to the business. This CONC does not only impact Company X, it is the CONC also to suppliers, which is actually a negative impact to both, because when suppliers are actually having poor product quality, it affects the customer that is being threat to the customer, the customer, which is Company X. So if the supplier is a threat, then it means that the business cannot actually move on. Supplier can back down and say we are no longer producing. So the cost of poor quality related to the cost of internal and external failures. And then you do have the cost of appraisals. That is the cost whereby in Company X, they do have what you call containing for the supplier, I can say sorting, which actually takes much time and will be binned on the CONC. That will be paid by the supplier. So thus I came up with an aim to say The aim is the development of an effective quality control framework of purchase costs alongside supply within the rail industry. And the main objectives that my research will be addressing is to identify the causes of product quality failure within supply chain, to demonstrate the best practice in supply product quality control, and to evaluate the existing control framework by analyzing application through case studies in the rail industry. So this is basically also what is covered in my literature. So this is a research framework. That is just a high level of my literature review. It covers the product quality risk, measures of product quality, study of different frameworks that is derived from QMS system, and then evaluation on specific key features, gaps and best practices, 2 methods used to measure different quality, key features, gaps and best practices, and then the conclusion is the same as my topic, to develop a product quality management framework. Next slide, please. So in terms of methodology, the research methodology to be used is the quantitative methodology, which actually focus on the numerical data, numerical value. And then the question that is normally asked is the 522H, which is why, who, what, when, how much, which, and then how many. So it actually quantifies in terms of numerical value. So there is no biasness there. And then in my methodology, the formula that I use to actually populate or to have a sample is the Taro-Yamane's formula, as you can see. So in the sampling that I found, I actually regarded the top waste suppliers that are actually performing poorly to be the ones that I am guided with to utilize my framework on. And then in terms of the tools that I chose were the SIPOC that is derived from the Lean Six Sigma, and the AD tool that will assist in actually solving the problem. So as I continue here on my methodology, this is how the data was collected to the last step. The data was collected from the historical data of Company X, and individual suppliers were sorted. We identified defects per market code because they do differ. We have different market codes. Company X has different market codes in terms of building their trains. And then we share NCs with suppliers via email, validate product quality with designed quality framework. That is what my study is following in terms of the methodology. The next slide. So as you can see on this result, I can actually say the results, not expected outcome. So in the year 2019, this is 3 interval years. In the year 2019, you can see the number of NCs were very low because that was the onboarding of suppliers. It was actually the onboarding of suppliers by Company X. So much of the system in terms of quality system or where we get data from was not yet really fully implemented for the suppliers to use. And then we had very little suppliers that had started in terms of providing parts to Company X. And then in year 2020, that's when the full production within the onboarded suppliers had started. As you can see, the variety or the high risen number of NCR. This is also due to the fact that suppliers were onboarded without recs being shared to them. It was a new product. It was their first time, and then they were localized as I'm saying, local suppliers. The Company X was still getting parts elsewhere. So you can move to the next slide. So I'm not going to dwell into this. This is just the market code in 2019. Just characterization. We call it defect characterization. Panels of the commodity. So we have the highest, which was the sheet metal on the year 2019. You can go down. And then this is also 2020 defect characterization. And then you see on the 2020 defect characterization market code, we were sitting on integer seeds, being the highest. And the last slide, on the next slide, 2021, sheet metal as well. So in a nutshell, for overall 3-year interval, we saw that sheet metal needed more focus in terms of NCE suppliers that actually provide the sheet metal needed more focus. So this quality framework was therefore derived following the Lean Six Sigma SIPOC process, and then it was added a V for validation. Reason for following this is because the SIPOC is a proven powerful mapping tool that is derived from Six Sigma that is actually good at dissecting every process that one needs to look at. It could be in any industry when you are dealing with problem solving. So my first S is where I consider supplier, the inputs. The inputs is what actually makes the product. So inputs here will be the NC's reviews from company X that will be analyzed, the product technical specifications, and the skills review of the supplier's operators. And then coming to the process, we'll be analyzing the process audits, inspection gauge review, technical spec update, and the training. So output, they should be conforming product to quality standards, and as well as the skilled personnel and suppliers. So in terms of customer, the parts that are sent to the customer, they should be delivered conforming with COCs, and then validation, products are being validated all throughout the process in company X premises. So as you can see that the quality framework that I've implemented has started being used from April 2021, and it has proven quality degradation. And as you can see that from company X, reduction in number of NCR, as you can see that from company X, this was historical data that is populated from the portal. There is a degradation in quality. The supplier seems to be much improving. So it's a sample supplier, however, we see a lot of improvements because the focus was on the suppliers that are basically giving us most of the critical issues in a weekly basis. So in conclusion, the framework was proven to be working as noted in the reduction of NCs in the month of April and May 2021. However, I shall carry over, as stated on the above slide, to say the expected outcome is to have the number of NCs being reduced to 60%. And then the framework will be assisting company X to reach its delivery target, as well as developing suppliers to meet their quality and business targets. The comp value due to supplier decreased as NCs decreases, which is therefore less threat to company X, because company X now will sit happily having more revenue in terms of having more revenue because their suppliers are now performing without quality issues. Thank you.